Hey folks, welcome back to Co-op Month on the Broken Meeple. This is Sentinels of the Multiverse, the card game, and specifically I am unboxing the Enhanced Edition, i.e. the second edition of this game. It's been on my hit list for a little while actually to try and get to play, but there's not many people I know that own the game who have brought it to clubs, so I figured, oh well, I'm just going to get it myself anyway. Because let's face it, superheroes are one of the things I like. I may not have been a major comic fan in the past, but I love every film that's got a superhero in it to an extent, at least any of the major ones. And I've already got Marvel Legendary, and that game is brilliant on my shelf, so I see no reason why I shouldn't like this one. But I'll find out more about that later when I actually get round to playing a few games of it. But for now, let's unbox the thing. So, we know that this is a card game to begin with. And as such, it's going to have, well, it's going to be a bit like Marvel Legendary in that respect. It's just going to have cards. You can see it now. Okay, first up, Sentinels Sidekick. Yes, the app that they recommend to play this game with. I'm surprised to actually find the app, on a little piece of paper inside the box though. It's a nice little gesture. But apparently it's a way of keeping track of hit points and stuff like that, so it's a useful tool, and I'll have to give it a shot. I've downloaded it, so we'll see what happens on that. Rulebook. Sorry for the slight flares. It's just too much white, unfortunately. Turn order. As you can see, the artwork is very much comic book style. Even the rulebooks, it's those classic comic book styles where you got the big header and the usual hero font with pictures all over the place, and the artwork is going to be a take it or leave it affair. Personally, I like it. Let me give you an example here. Here we go, Minion. Now, you can see that this is really classic style comic book hero thing, and I think it's done really well. It fits the theme properly. Some people aren't going to like this kind of artwork, and if you don't, then, well, you shouldn't have really bought this game in the first place, but that's essentially what you're going to have to deal with in this. But it seems to be quite well written to begin with. There's not a huge amount of text to read, although saying that that leaves to be desired when I actually come around to reading through this. But it goes through the card types, goes through the curse sequence, but this is a really good thing. I'm going to highlight this in particular. Hero and villain comparisons. Now, because there are so many decks, Zero, Bunker, Fanatic, Haka, Legacy, Ra, Tachyon, Tempest, Visionary, these are all the different heroes that you can play, all with their own little icons. Now, they're given a complexity rating, and the villains in comparison, Baron Blade, Citizen Dawn, Grand Warlord Voss, Omnitron, Plague Rat, Spite, the Chairman, the Matriarch, who I hear is supremely difficult in this game, Akash Buta, I think that's right, I've nearly said something else there, but Apostate, Gloomweaver, the Aeneid, and Ambuscade. I think this is, yes, they do specifically highlight that some of these are found in specifically the Rook and Inferno Relics expansion, which I also have, so there'll be another unboxing video for that, I suspect. But getting back to the point, they have a difficulty and a complexity rating. So it tells you, A, how difficult the villain is, so we can look at Baron Blade, for example, and see that he's difficulty 1. So he's good for an introduction game. We then look at hero comparisons, and I think, oh, I fancy being absolute 0. Ooh, complexity level 3, that means he's really hard to use. Maybe I'll find someone easier. How about this one in the middle here? There we go, we'll take Legacy, the Superman equivalent of this game. And this is good. This is handy to allow you to see what decks you should go with, what combos might work. And to be fair, actually, some of these, the rulebook does look big, but a lot of this is hero bio, and villain bio. In fact, I would go start. Let's see, the last 2 pages are just glossary. All right, the last 4 pages are a glossary. The 4 pages these 5 odd pages are hero biography. So that's only really, and that's a complexity chart. So you're only really talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages really, and a quick reference guide. Yeah, 6 pages in that. I don't think this will be too difficult to learn, and I've heard that maybe it can be a little fiddly, but it's certainly not too difficult to learn. But nice quality. I'll give it credit for that. Now, the Enhanced Edition, now, one of the main things they've done is that they've gone and brought in these lovely tokens to sort of represent damage taken, or you can't deal damage, can't draw cards, can't play cards, damage dealt, that kind of thing. They're all done in the sort of classic comic book font as before, but previously there was no way to keep track of this kind of thing, and now they've basically turned around and said, yeah, sorry about that, and printed out this nice new edition which everybody swears by. And we've got some more here. All damage melee, all damage fire, damage taken, I believe, nope, all damage toxic, melee, fire, damage taken +1, -1, immune dead. So basically loads of status effects that you would expect to see on your heroes. And alongside that, I believe you've also got hit point counters, I'm guessing these are, maybe damage counters as well. Nice in the comic book style again, so you're going to like it or love it. Like it or love it, you're going to like it or hate it, and see how that goes for you. But personally, I like this kind of style. It suits it very well. And not too bad actually in terms of chunkiness. I mean, let me just pop one out here. Oop, nice and easy. And it's quite a thick, relatively good cardstock, so these are going to stay in pretty good condition for a while. Now, of course, the main highlight, the cards. Similar to how the legendary Dark City box looks, it's essentially 2 rows of where you can put your cards. Now, first thing I'm going to highlight is these. These are a very good little addition. If you just bear with me while I get the shrink wrap off. Thank you, knife. Essentially what they've done, as I'm doing this, is that obviously with a card game you have trouble filing it all, you know which deck or what, and Legendary gives you dividers, but they're very blank dividers. They just have the logo and that's it. Not the case with Sentinels though. Insula Primalis, Megalopolis, these are locations by the way, Pike Industrial Complex, Rook City, Ruins of Atlantis, but if we carry on through this, here we go, Haka, nice picture of him, Legacy with the picture, Mr. Fixer, yeah, actually I'm just thinking, Legacy. Does anybody here watch the superhero cafe on YouTube with Batman and Superman in the cafe? It's like, he's like, what'd you do? So what did you do then, Legacy? Well, I stopped the bad guys, made out with Lois for a bit, flew into space, smiled for the camera. You know, this reminds me of that really. Mr. Fixer. So basically they've all got their own unique dividers with their unique artwork and a full picture of the character. And the same goes, I suspect, for the villains. Here we go, yeah, Baron Blade, Citizen Dawn, Bloom. Oh, he looks pretty cool actually, I might give him a shot. And Grand Warlord Voss, Omnitron. So, does that look a bit like a Portal ripoff to you? Okay, Plague Rat, Spike. So basically there's this really cool artwork, and these are just the dividers, you know, to slot in here to separate all your decks. This wasn't in the original version, it is in here now, and this is brilliant as far as I'm concerned. I think that just saves me the whole bother of going on to BoardGameGeek and downloading various dividers to use like I had to do with Legendary. It was worth it. I mean, you know, Legendary has dividers, but I wanted better dividers, and it was nice to be able to go up and basically sort that problem out. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of these decks because I'll be here forever. I'm going to try and find a couple of examples of heroes, villains, and locations, and just give you an idea of how they work, because otherwise I will be here spoiling all the lovely pictures for you, and it will take me forever to get through this video. So let's take here an example. I have, alright, here we go, perfect. I will grab Legacy's hero deck. Okay, here we go. Separate those there. I've also got Haka and Ra in my hand here, but there's it. Here we go. So, as you can see, Sentinels and the Multiverse, and the heroes logo, which are all very different. I mean, I'll pull out the Mighty Ra. There you go. See? God of the Sun, Mighty Ra. So they've all got unique artwork. They all have their unique decks. Marvel Legendary is slightly different, where it's a deck builder and you recruit the heroes out of one big deck. Here, you are the hero. You have your own deck. So all of these are to do with this bloke. Legacy. Smile for the camera. And they will each have a power. But as you can see, all their moves are classic comic artwork. And I don't see why you could hate this artwork. I mean, okay, it's not like CGI artwork or something like out of a Ultimate Fantasy game or something like that. You know, like Mage Knight maybe, I suppose, for an example. But you know, it does what it's meant to do. It's meant to simulate a comic book, a superhero comic book. And you cannot argue that this doesn't fit that theme. But these cards, I mean, they feel quite weird in the hand, actually. Almost like they got bits all over them. But fairly good card stock and relatively thick as well. I almost feel like, I think it's dust that I've got on these. I'm not sure why that is. They seem to have, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned on that front. Maybe it's just because the cards have been in there for a while, I'm not sure. But no matter, I'm going to be sleeving these anyway, and I suspect most people who buy this game will. But as you can see, all classic, all unique, every single card is unique, all with the superhero in question, takedown, ongoing effects, even a little bit of fluff. This is why it gives a sort of comic book reference as well for just a bit more. The Legacy Ring, one ring to rule them all. Again, more quotes. So that's essentially a hero deck. It will have your character and all your various cards that you will draw in order to smack around the enemy a bit. So that's the heroes, and I'll leave it at that because I'm not going to go through every single hero and spoil the surprise, because that's not fun, is it? I'll just mention, here we go, Wraith, who I believe is the kind of sort of Batman equivalent, even though it's a woman. More Wraith cards. I've got a feeling that's more hero decks, so I'll leave those out. Tempest, that's more hero decks. I need to find the villains. Villains or the heroes. Hopefully they've got their own deck and I can find them nice and easily. Ah, wait a minute, Omnitron. Okay, here we go. I'll get this pack open. This definitely has some hero villains in there somewhere. I'll tell you one thing, something that's actually making me cry at this point. It's not the really good artwork or anything like that. It's the fact that there's over 500 cards in here, and there's more in the Rook City and Inferno Relics expansion that I've got, and there's more after that, and there's even another expansion being released later this month, I believe. And I've got a sleevable. Yikes. Feel my pain, feel my pain, feel my pain. Ah well, let's see. Omnitron, Grand Warloss. So let's have a go with Omnitron. Let's have a look at this little Portal rip-off that I'm expecting here. Omnitron himself. Ah yeah. Device. Is that Omnitron himself, or is that just gameplay? No. I'll see if I can find the actual Omnitron himself. I got a feeling that probably is actually him there, actually. Yeah, just the sort of the head, spiky head of Omnitron. But again, similar to the heroes, they have their own unique artwork with various effects to get in the way of the heroes. And it should be clear that nobody actually controls this villain. The game controls the villain. Basically, I think you flip cards off the deck and things will happen as time goes on. You're in control of your own deck, not this deck. It's the case that the game controls this deck, and that's about as far as it will go from you. You just need to basically keep it going and manage it. Here we go, more little fluff text, more comic book style art, electromagnetic railgun, that sounds pretty awesome actually. Electro Pulse Explosive. So, I mean, as you can see, it's similar to the hero decks. Unique artwork for every different card, and some really nice comic booky style artwork. Oh, where have I seen these guys before? From Doctor Who, I think, actually. Yeah, Chris Eccleston's era. Little spider drones. Hundreds of these skittering, stabby robots came at me. It was great. Okay. Strange superhero there, Haka. But that's essentially the villain deck, and as you might have noticed from the hero deck, the Legacy deck looks like that, but you will also notice that the Ra one looked like that, and Omnitron back looks like this. So they've all got unique backs as well. So I really should stress that you should not use coloured sleeves to sleeve this game, otherwise you are ruining half of the artwork that is in this game. It just isn't worth it. Now, I believe there is only one type of thing to find now in terms of cards, and that is what they call the environment. Environment cards are essentially the location that you're fighting in. So yeah, not only have you got heroes for variety and villains for variety, you also have environment decks to simulate where you're fighting. And all of those are different. All of those are going to be having different effects that are probably going to get in your way more often than not. And luckily for you, I found them. And here they are. Well, first of all, the stress, it's not like these cards are actual locations, it's the fact that, let's see, here we go, Insula Primalis, I believe that's how you pronounce it. So effectively what looks like sort of dinosaur land, that's the environment. And these cards will flip, same with the villain deck, and various things will happen to get in your way. So here we've got enraged T-Rexes and obsidian field, primordial plant life. Yes, there's the classic sort of stuff you found in the prehistoric times, pterodactyl thief, ribbon of lava, velociraptor pack who look very docile compared to a normal velociraptor. And what is it with the glowing yellow eyes? I'm not quite sure on that one. But volcanic eruption, cramped quarters combat. Nope, no, sorry, that's some switching decks there. That was effectively into Primus, and I think I'm going to do that one first because I like the idea of having dinosaurs come out and ruin my day. So what's the next one? Megalopolis. So again, what we got in here, this is effectively like a big skyscraper type locations. We've got cramped quarters, you've got hostage situations, impending casualties, paparazzi on the scene. So very like a city-based type location there. And the ruins of Atlantis, if I carry on, traffic pile-up. Nope, sorry, that's Megalopolis. Here we go, ruins of Atlantis. Atlantean font of power. Hallway collapse, again using the various superhero art. Leaking room. Mystical defences. Effectively, as you know, it's an underwater city. So again, it captures the theme of that location pretty well. And finally, what am I looking at here? The Wagner Mars Base. Wagner Mars Base. None on here. Meteor storm, oxygen leak. So you're in space. So they all really look different. I mean, you've got prehistoric land, you've got underwater city, you've got space station on Mars. It really does look like there's a ton of different ways that you can play this game. I mean, and this is just the base game, and it costs less than, what did I pay for this game? Probably about 24 quid? 23, 24 something after this game. So, you know, all this variety in just this box. You know, I can't stress how much there is in terms of variety in this game, and I haven't even got to Sentinels and the Multiverse, Infernal Relics and Rook City. But just as a sneak little spoiler, there you are, Rook City and Inferno. This is the new one, because originally these were released as separate items, but now these are here in a single box set. And funny enough, this actually costs more than the base Enhanced Edition game, which is a bit weird actually. I'm not sure what the pricing logic is with that. But for some reason they went along with it. Other than that, there's not much else to see. The box has, well, it mentions the original versions of those expansions on there. But like I say, as I've just shown you, they're in their own box, so you can pretty much ignore that. And back of the box, a nice little bit of lore, box components, and one thing I will note, I'm going to show this to you here actually, 76mm times divider cards, 63 times 88. This is one of the first few games I've seen where it actually tells you on the back of the box how big the cards are, so you know what size sleeve to get. That is something I really don't see often. And just to give you a hint up on that front, I sleeved Legendary with the Mayday Premium sleeves, where you get 50 in a pack. That was torture to do that many packs, and also it was quite a significant cost. It was still worth it, but still I think maybe it wasn't too necessary. So I've downgraded to the standard packs where you get 100 in each of these, but 63.5 times 88. We found out on the back of the box that it was 63 times 88, and this one says 63.5 times 88. Now, essentially that gives us not a huge amount of leg room, but this is the size that is recommended by gamers for using with this game. So that's essentially it for Sentinels and the Multiverse unboxing. As you can see, there is a ton of cards, and I'm not going to spoil them all for you because it's just not fair on you. The whole purpose of this game is that there is so much variety, you'll want to come back and see what everybody else is like. Get rid of that polystyrene there. So, thank you for watching my video. I will get around to doing Sentinels and the Multiverse, Rook City and Infernal Relics very soon. but there's plenty more content on the channel to look forward to. So for now, thank you for listening. That was Sentinels and the Multiverse unboxing. Take care and I'll see you soon.